our power. The power we came to earth for good.
He said, my friends of all race, spirituality, and religion. He forgot ages. He did not say, my friends of all ages. This is the whole point of the problem, is this is an age-ism thing. It should be all ages now. All ages. Because they have always looked at us. I know I say the decades a lot, but that's what the bad guys have always put us into these categories. In fact, I took a course once and we had to duplicate the looks of the 30s, the 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and I learned how to really distinguish the differences, the subtle differences between the decades, and it's amazing how things did always have an upheaval of a change. Like, look at the beautiful pencil but comfortable body-hugging things of the 30s, and then the 40s, the shoulder pads came up, and then the 50s, the big, huge, flaring skirts. It was all due to many things, but the economy was big because they wanted to sell that fabric. But I'm going to not talk about that point. The point is all ages. This is how you're going to do it. Forget about the RA, winning the race, those words, or even cultures. It's all ages now, because you're going to have to not have any weak links in this chain. The chain between people born in the 30s that are alive now, people born in the 40s and the 50s, and people born in the 60s, very, very important. Aha, that's it. That's it, Generation X, the 60s, not being an adult in the 60s. Being born in the 60s is what I'm saying. That's the Gen X. That's the one that they don't want. That's the, maybe 6 is actually a good number. Maybe 666 is a good number. Maybe the Bible does need to be flipped around. Maybe Apostle Paul was the Jesuit Loyola. Maybe Apostle Paul was the first Antichrist that the early Christians were scared of. So anyways, I'm questioning a lot of things. I don't question the Lord himself, because the Greeks wanted to come and see him, and as soon as that happened, he said, well, it's time for me to go, because he knew that he wasn't supposed to hang around and become some kind of a philosopher king, as the Greeks had probably regretted killing Socrates 300 years ago. So they were like, yeah, well, we bet we got a second chance with a wise man here. And Jesus said, no. I mean, I don't know why, but if Jesus became the philosopher king back then, we wouldn't have had to go through this and develop some sort of a shamanic soul retrieval for all time. For all time. For the epoch. For King Chronos. God of time. So anyways, the ages. You are an age. You were young at a certain point in time. You went through puberty at a certain point in time, and everybody has got their own epoch. Mine is 1981, if you haven't noticed. That's when I was around 13 years old. So much stuff happened. I think I was they always say, I was 13 going on 30. But there was a lot going on at the time, and the music that shaped me was my local music, and this is one of them. This is from my local. I mean, I eat locally, and I listen locally, too. It shapes me. Your terrain. You're like a grape, aren't you? So come on, be your vintage. Be your own vintage, and let's win this thing through all ages. All ages, you've got something to offer. Forget all the other characteristics they're trying to group us and lump us into. It's ages. All of them in, and you all have something. Stop playing the hamster wheel.